You're watching Alaska's news source, KTUU Channel 2 Anchorage. And now, Alaska's #1 news team, Maria Downey, Jason Moore, John Carpenter with sports, and Jackie Purcell with the weather. This is the Channel 2 News Hour.
Self-published books, often dismissed as vanity press and usually not big sellers. But Laurel Bill and her series about Alaska history may be one of the rare exceptions. In tonight's Bottom Line, with help from photographer Jason Kohler, the making and selling of Aunt Phil's trunk.
The beauty of being in a spot like this is you get anywhere from 10 to 20,000 people during the weekend coming through. And these books are so beautiful, they're actually starting to sell themselves. Hi, how are you?
For now, Laurel Bill doesn't leave anything to chance.
There's not a boring page in here.
She's author and publisher with a passion for promotion.
They're $19.95 and I toss in my signature and a bookmark for nothing.
Not long ago, Laurel Bill went back to college and earned a degree in journalism, but you'd swear it was in marketing because she's turned Alaska history into a hot commodity.
My aunt was an Alaska historian, and when she passed away in 1993, I inherited all of her award-winning stories about the history of Alaska.
Laurel Bill added in some stories of her own and combed museums and archives for photographs.
This volume has about 350 historical photos.
Thanks to the photos, a series was born.
The photos are actually driving the length of the books because there are so many fabulous photos that have not seen the light of day in almost 100 years. And I started gathering all these wonderful photos and the book kept getting fatter and fatter. And when I got up to page 344, I thought, well gosh, they're gonna have a wheelbarrow to cart this thing around if it's one book.
Good thing there are 2 books, a 3rd in the works, possibly a 4th and a 5th. And we have Aunt Phil to thank.
Well, the trunk has got many, many treasures in it.
Aunt Phil really did have a trunk, and now its treasures are finally being mined.
She hand-typed everything, of course, because they had no computers back then.
Phyllis Downing Carlson, many things to many people. Historian, librarian, columnist, and devoted to her diaries.
Wall to wall, she did not let any space escape the ink pen.
Her love of detail held fast even during the '64 quake.
I'm writing this at 10:30 p.m. and we are still having tremors. Reports are coming in that Anchorage is very badly hit. We hear Seward has burned and Valdez destroyed.
As someone who lived through some amazing times, Aunt Phil had a knack for dishing out deliciously Alaskan fare.
It's kind of like getting history with sugar on it. You know what I mean? It's not like in 1776, Captain Cook arrived, and you're going, oh, shoot me, now I'm so bored I could scream.
Out of Aunt Phil's trunk, stories that don't always make it into the history books. Most people know that Wyatt Earp ran a saloon in Nome, but did you know that his first choice was not a home in Nome?
The deputy in Juneau heard that he was on the steamship coming in, and he got a posse together, went down to the docks, and when the ship landed, he told Mr. Earp he was not welcome in Juneau. He took his firearm away from him.
One thing you'll find in Aunt Phil's trunk, an old gramophone that Laurel found in an antique store. She keeps it in the trunk for inspiration to channel those voices from the past.
It's the Indian love song, I believe.
Good stories are like good songs, something best experienced.
It's funny, she didn't like the writing so much. She loved the research. I'm the opposite. I love the writing.
Despite Aunt Phil's death, time hasn't stopped this partnership.
It turns out our first U.S. Deputy Marshal in the Interior was a wanted murderer from Oklahoma.
From Law and Order to how the Klondike was discovered by a man who had a dream about gold-scaled fish swimming in a river, Aunt Phil's trunk is a motherlode of material.
I backpack and travel and canoe and fish this grand state for years, and I can relate to a lot of it. So the people, and it's very down to earth.
Our history is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
And that's something Laurel Bill says you can take to the bank. And you can go to the Bottom Line feature on KTUU.com, where you'll find a sample of stories from both books. And you can find the books in stores and gift shops across the state, including Walmart, and of course at the weekend downtown market.
Looks like an interesting book, too.
No kidding. Well, bottom line, how is the book sold?
Well, when Volume 1 first came out, she ordered 2,000 copies and they sold out within 4 months. And then when Volume 2 came out in April, she started off with 5,000. Now she's down to about half of that. And she already has orders for Volume 3. And we talked to the folks at Tidal Wave, and they told us, you know, that this is pretty good for a book, but, you know, what it comes down to is an author's ability to promote a book.
And
Well,
she's doing a
she
very good
certainly
job.
can do that.
Thanks,
All right.
Rhonda.
Thanks, Margaret.